one thing that I love to do and I love to tell other entrepreneurs is to start something what I call an idea book. And it's not your traditional book. The idea is to write as much as you can and keep going until you get tired. And this isn't your typical business plan. This is just something to put, pen to paper, create these ideas and get them on into a booklet. And from there, close that book. Do not open it. Do not talk to your friends. Do not tell your mentors. The idea is to close this book, give it about 2 weeks, and let your mind settle. Take off the rose-tinted glasses and reopen that book and see if it makes sense. And that's really when you know you got a perfect idea. The one big thing about the idea book that a lot of people forget is that, when we are coming up with an idea, we're in love with what it is at that very moment, right? And the idea is to write as much as you can and keep going until you can't write anymore. And that's when you flesh your idea out, and then you close that book and you don't look at it for at least 10 to 14 days. Give it about 2 weeks. And when you do that, it gives you the chance to open that book up again in 2 weeks and say, you know what, does this idea make sense? Am I looking at this without the rose-tinted glasses? Can this become a proper business plan? I tell that because more often than not, in articles and publications and things like that, they tell you, talk to mentors, get your idea out there, tell other friends. But I tell you not to do that. Actually keep it closed off for a bit so you can actually understand that, if this is something that means a lot to you and doesn't stand the test of time. So it's something I've been doing for about 10 years now. And every business I work on, any iteration of a project or a venture, usually has to go through some sort of idea book. And I love doing it in the mornings. I love doing it, on an airplane when there's no Wi-Fi. I like to do it in places where I have the time to just sit down and write. I tend to write very small because I like to conserve paper. Sometimes it's just scribbles all over. But I'm a list guy, so like this is a good example of just a sheet with different kind of categories of what I want to do. I don't necessarily write the way I used to with long sentences. I like to just put fragments and things so then I can look back and be like, okay, I understand what a collaboration means. Like I just know what that means for that specific category. So I like to write in this format instead of vertical, and it just works a little bit better for me. Chances are, if you are writing in your idea book and you write these ideas you have today, they might not always work out, but that's not to say it couldn't happen in the future. And that's a perfect example for myself where I had a business idea. I was a little too young. I was a little too naive. I wasn't ready for it, but I opened that book up 6 years later and I saw an idea I liked and I decided to go for it.